Everybody, tell me things to do.
Let's see. I'm a digital sculptor, so I use 3D software to sculpt kaiju. I started doing it about 2013 and been practicing ever since, and it's become a hobby that turned into a career because all I did was non-stop make monsters with ZBrush, and I brought a bunch of images. I guess I didn't know if they were going to be displayed or whatever. It's my first panel. Also, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm nervous. But yeah, what I'm known for is I most recently designed Tiamat for the Godzilla versus Kong, the New Empire. So the reason Godzilla's pink now is my fault.
Oh, really?
Well, he kills Tiamat and absorbs her.
All right, thank you. I like pink Godzilla.
I didn't know that was gonna happen. I didn't even make Tiamat pink. They did that on their own. Anyway, yeah, I also have sculpted over the years with X Plus, Mondo, Mezco, YMSF, James Roman Designs, and lots more. I work with Titanic Creations heavily. We do anything they have for sale. I sculpted so far, and we have lots more to come. And that's basically it in a nutshell. And I do a lot of stuff. I've been coming here to G-Fest since 2015, and I didn't start doing 3D prints. I was selling just 2D art prints for several of those years. Even though my work is in 3D and everything is a sculpture, I never thought to ever print it out until years later. And then I started doing like, hey, I'm a 3D artist. Why don't I 3D print my work? And then little by little, I would do them small with no paint, and then they got bigger, and then they started adding paint. And now I sell them like this, paint on them. And they look pretty damn good, I would say. And I'm happy because it took, you start very timidly, and then you just start thinking that you can do anything. And now I'm at that point where I'm like, I just want them to be as big as possible. And hopefully people buy them. So this year I had a bunch. I came with like 35 of them, and I have 2 left. And it's already sad. So tomorrow I'm gonna have nothing to sell. But yeah, next year I'll be back with lots more. So if you have any, I don't know what else to keep saying.
I was gonna say, I think I almost embarrassed you last year because Jim introduced me to you, and he gave me your card, and I went, "You're dope, Hope." You did that X Plus,
Yes.
Iris. You did Hoser?
Yes, I did.
And you did that Gorgo.
Yes.
And I just said, I'm not worthy.
Yeah,
I'm your biggest fan.
only people at this show even know who those things are. So that's awesome. If there's anybody in this room right now, it's mind blowing.
We have your pictures. Thank you. We successfully transferred them. I don't know if there's any order.
No, there's no order, and there's like. I just figured they'd just go on the screen as I talk about stuff.
So you can always discuss the specific ones as we go if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I just figured I just pulled stuff out of random that looked cool. For the most part. And a lot of this stuff I sculpted because I wanted to, not because it was a job or anything. In the beginning, I just sculpted because I wanted to learn how to sculpt. I needed to learn the software, how to master the interface of it. So all I do is just sculpt what I wanted to sculpt, which is always a monster. And I just did like any monster from Godzilla or Gamera, I just started sculpting it. And then after a while, I had a lot of work and a lot of sculpts. So I figured, let me print some of them out and go to a show and sell it. I came here in 2015 as a spectator, just walking around. These are my people. This is my place. So, and then 2016, I came as a vendor, and that was it. The rest is history.
Do you want to say something about this one before we go on?
It's just the head sculpt of Otachi, because Otachi, and I just had to go at it. I never finished the body though, so I got to do that. Hopefully next year I'll have a 3D printer. But yeah.
A lot of us paint glass too.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, this is definitely one of my earlier ones when I didn't know really what I was doing or how to render, and yeah, I can tell this is really old. And then I used to put, you're not supposed to do this. I used to put Legendary's mark, the Telbo's mark. I thought I was being respectful. Turns out I was being illegal. But because I did that, and I posted a lot of stuff like that, people thought I was an official concept artist for them. And it got me, I think it actually got me work, but it wasn't supposed to. And when I found out you're not supposed to do that, I was kind of scared I was going to get in trouble. Yeah, but people thought when I would post something that it was real and that they thought this was going to be, you know, legendary films.
Anger is confirmed.
Yeah, they were like, you'd see crazy people posting, they're like, it's going to be in the new movie, it's 100% accurate. And it's not, it was just me practicing. Yeah, this is another old one. Yeah, at the time I didn't even know how to render. I would just hit OK on this and slap it together in Photoshop. This is me sucking at ZBrush. Yeah. Does anybody here use ZBrush? Oh, nice. You like it?
Oh yeah, we're freaking studio.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, it gets changed your life.
Oh, completely. Yeah. So it makes it so that you can do anything you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today without it. I don't even know what I'd be doing, to be honest. It changed my life completely. Yeah, this is another one with more of this kind of stuff. I see these are like old pieces of mine, and I see them on YouTube as thumbnails all the time now without no credit. That's okay. Yeah, so I would just go and sculpt.
Tell me if I'm doing it.
Oh, not at all. I just do a new monster every day just to practice. I'd rather than do something that wouldn't keep me interested, like human anatomy and stuff like that. Like you absolutely need to learn that if you want to be a good sculptor. But it wasn't like at the time. I just wanted to have fun with it and fall in love with it. And monsters kept me interested. It kept me at it and active. And that's why I have so many monsters. And now I'm just really good at doing monsters really fast. But I think Legendary thinks that they own that piece. They use it in their marketing and stuff. I don't think that they know that it's fan. Yeah, I'm just a fan of Legendary's monster movies, as you can see. Yeah, old school. I like to take the monsters and kind of make them mine, and do it in my style. But I'm learning as I'm doing this stuff. Like a lot of these are from early on, and I'm learning how to do certain things. So like, maybe that was the day I discovered how to make scales. So I went crazy with scales.
Can you talk about your style? I just, like, even going back to when you were on like video, you really look like you. Is there something?
I think I just have a style, the way I present and create I like the mean and ugly looking. I don't like anything too cute. So I'll take anything and just if it's not ugly enough, I'll uglify it and try to add more detail where it wasn't there before and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where my style comes in. But then the rest of it, I'm actually trying to stay as faithful to it as I can. So I married it to, like, I make it mine, but make it theirs at the same time. And usually that's what you see is where I arrive at. Sometimes what I see in my mind's eye is exactly what comes out, and other times it's not at all, but it still kind of looks good, so I run with it. You know, I guess sometimes it's serendipitous. You just whatever. Like if you don't know how to do something, sometimes it just comes together in the render, and it's not even your fault that you didn't know it was going to happen. But yeah, this was me exploring a lot of that at the time. Yeah, like I don't know how to do robots, so this is me sucking at doing robots. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice, but yeah, there's so many things I would change about this now because it's a really old piece. But I wanted to include older stuff with newer stuff so that I could show how much I've learned over the years. Yeah, that's me trying to do a robot. What's that?
That doesn't look like Jet Jack.
Whoa.
That's okay. That's okay. But how did you know it was Jet Jack?
Yeah, how did you?
The colors.
Ah, so you kind of knew it was Jet Jack, right? But you still hate it? That's okay. It's okay. That's when you change the style of something. That's the risk you run. So yeah, this was me trying to figure out how to render and paint stuff. Like you could be doing this for years and still not know how to do stuff. There's still a ton of things I don't know how to do yet. And you'll never not need to learn more. Yeah, this is me getting, learning new tricks and how to render and composite images and stuff. But yeah, I'm sculpting every monster that's in the Toho universe, and then I'm gonna do all the Gamera monsters, and then I'm gonna do Ultraman monsters, and it never stops. It just keeps happening.
Ultraman will take you a
Yeah,
long time.
I don't even know their names. So many of them, but yeah, I'll never run out of
You'll never
subject
run out of
matter, for sure,
Ultraman.
for sure. And then this is me starting to do my own thing, like taking their concepts and now incorporating my stuff into it. And this is the kind of stuff that got me work to do concept art for films as well. Because after a while, I got known for doing monsters so much, I would get called on to create new ones. And I wish I could show that stuff. I'm not allowed to show it, but I did work with Legendary on stuff. I worked with Marvel and stuff that I can't show, but it was tons of monster work that I found amazing. And this is the kind of stuff that got me that work, like just exploring new ideas and not just copying what I see, but creating stuff on my own. This might have been like one of my first professional jobs. I got paid to sculpt this dragon, and I think I got paid like $700, and I was like ecstatic, like, oh my god, I'm making tons of money now. It was awesome, man. I was so happy to be able to do it. And now, that money's long gone. And I don't even have the toy that they made. Yeah, so that was me. I think I discovered a new rendering software where you could like really make it look cinematic. And I was starting to re-render older models and try to make them look better. And when you do that, you're like, oh wow, I don't have to actually do much work, and I can have a bunch of new images that look amazing. And that's why I went to town on those. And then you can just post them on Instagram, and they think you're working all day, every day, and you're not. This is like very close to one of my first professional jobs as well. I did this with Pop Culture Shock, and it was distributed by Sideshow. It was just a giant cartoon like this. And I think it was like $400 that they were selling it for, so I never got one myself. They never gave me one for free. And it was like my second job. I think I got $3,500 for it, and that went from $700 to $3,500. I was like, I'm gonna be rich. It's exciting. I don't know if you guys know Titanic Creations, but that's their monster. That was like when I first. They hired me to do this and didn't tell me it was going to be a toy. I just thought I was doing somebody's original character. So I rendered it out like it was a Godzilla movie and whatnot. And then they were like, cool. And then they made a toy out of it, which I had no clue was coming because we were just dealing with each other through emails and we never like discussed the project. And then from there, it became me being part of the team and constantly working on future projects together. And now we know what we're making. This is me just redesigning Gygax for fun. You like that one? Oh, okay, cool. That was one of the pieces I brought with me, and it sold immediately. I painted it like the Showa colors, but this is more like a Final Wars kind of thing. And then I just screw around with the shapes and have fun with the sculpting. Yeah, it is a swan monster. Kind of not great, but having fun with like rendering. Yeah, some of these there's another Titanic Creations monster that they do. They have action figures of that guy. I think he's sold out there. And yeah, that's a professional job. I got paid for that. This is probably when I'm starting to get lots of toy work and getting noticed by other companies and getting asked to design for them as well. I also do, before I started getting professional jobs, I started doing lots of commissions for people. Like even on DeviantArt, I would just say that they would take notice, see what I'm posting, and they're like, wow, you're really good. Can you do my original character? This is like somebody's original character that I did for them. And this is how it came out. I think they loved it. And then I got a 3D print of it in color. And it looked exactly like that. I was impressed. 3D printing has come a very long way. It used to be just a dream, and now it's like literally my life. Like everything I sculpt, I 3D print now, and I turn it into like a figure or statue that I could sell. But there are color 3D printers that do beautiful work, but they're so expensive that you can't even phase it into your workflow in any real way, because it's just not cost efficient at all. But what they can do is stunning. Oh, this is the piece that got me the job at Legendary. I was at Monsterpalooza in Pasadena, and Michael Dougherty, the director of Godzilla King of Monsters, was there, came over to my table, saw this piece, and started talking to me, started looking through my book, and I didn't know who he was. And he said, I'm Mike Dougherty, and I said, hi, I'm Joe. I didn't know who Mike Dougherty was. And we were talking, and it was lucky for me, I was nice to him, and I was polite, and I was, attentive, because if I just dismissed him as another person, my life would have went in a different direction. But because we were talking, he was really enthusiastic about my stuff. And he's like, I'm the director of Godzilla King of Monsters. My jaw dropped, turned white, and I was like, holy. So I was like, if you ever need a concept artist, I like to sculpt kaiju. And he's like, I can see that. He's like, I just might have work for you. And he was a man of his word. He gave me a call. They flew me in 6 months before the movie came out. I watched Godzilla King of Monsters by myself in a private movie theater 6 months before it came out for everyone else. And then they sat me down and we discussed making a bunch of new Titans for them. So I designed T-Mac for them right after that. And it was back in 2019. And it didn't come out in the movies until 2024. So that's a long time to wait. Didn't even tell me it was going to be in the movie. I found out when they had the leaks online, and I saw a picture of T-Man's face. I was like, holy, I sculpted it. And it looked exactly like what I sculpted too, so they didn't change it, which was remarkable. So I'm eager to see what else they're going to put in movies now, because I did a lot of work for them, and once again, they don't tell you what they're going to use, so I'm going to find out when you find out. But I can't say anything until then. Yeah, it's just another render of that thing with its mouth open from a different angle. What's great about 3D is because once you have the sculpt, you can turn it any way you want and get a completely new image out of it. And you can have this body of work that looks like you spent hours on it. You really, all you did was just turn it in space. When you're drawing these things, that's how they work. You have to draw it all out. So as you're sculpting, everything looks good from every angle, and you have a bunch of new artwork without really struggling. Is everybody in here interested in sculpture? Or is this... Oh, this is what I did for X Plus. This was like an early shot of Iris, a render of what I was doing to show them like what it was going to look like as the toy. Even though I don't hand it in to them with paint on it. It's just a file, but I just wanted them to see what it would look like if there was paint on it. And it got made, so. This is one of James Groman's designs. He's here, and I think his panel's next.
His panel's next.
It's his design, but he's way too busy to sculpt it, so he asked me to do it. And it was like the first time I ever worked with Jim, and I was thrilled that he gave me the job. And I had no idea how I was going to pull this off. But I said, yeah, I'll do it. But I had no idea if I could even do it. But this was it, and it came out really good. It looks exactly like his artwork. And it's crazy. It's got like a face on both sides. And it's they got turned into a giant final toy that he then like painted and they sold it. I was thrilled to have done anything with him in the first place. But from there, I worked with him again on a few other things. His work is so crazy detailed that I was like, that's exactly what I love to do. So I would love to work with him on it. But at the same time, I didn't want to disappoint him because I was like, I don't even know if I can do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. But I did it. It worked out pretty great, if I do say so myself. That was like an early draft of the Orga for X Plus. That also got.
Oh, you did that one too. Yeah, I own that one too.
Awesome. Yeah, they actually sent me one of these, and I have it. I think it's pretty great. I never got an Iris though. They didn't send me that. I don't like the body. Oh, this is another commission that I did, an original character that they asked me to do in like my style. Like I love doing stuff like that, and if you want to see your original character done like that, I'm happy to do it. And I go back to my roots a lot because when I didn't have any professional jobs, I was still making pretty good money doing the commissions, you know. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have the confidence to work professionally with anybody. It was by doing a lot of commissions, I built up a confidence level that I felt like maybe I'm good enough to go out there and work with professional companies. And it got me there eventually. And I might have to go back to that the way the economy's going right now. That's Nemesis.
Yeah.
So this is a different kind of way that I render sometimes. Like there's basically, it looks like a drawing. It looks like an illustration, but it's actually a 3D render. That's based on Matt Frank's artwork of Nemesis from Jeremy.
Robinson.
Who wrote that?
Robinson.
Jeremy Martin. That's right. His novels. Yeah, Cutie Dora. I just did this for fun.
It's Kevin.
Yeah. I actually got this image signed by the 3 actors. So Kevin is. I think Kevin's on it. There's the actual toy of it after it's made. And look, the paint jobs are great. They did a great job on that. When I was approached by X Plus to sculpt for them, I couldn't believe it. They didn't pay very well, but the fact that I got to noticed by them and asked to sculpt, and then the toy was made and sold, and this piece is in the Toho Museum in Japan. So I'm like, my artwork is in the Toho Museum. It blows my mind. Yeah, this is another just a fun fan art thing of Behemoth. But it's like people think it's official concept art, because especially it got confusing after I did work with Legendary. I was still doing fan art because I'll never stop, and now people can't tell the difference between what's fan art and what's real, and most of it's not real. Is that?
I thought it was concept art.
Yeah, and it's based on some concept art that I saw as well. But that after I did this, the guy who sculpted it for the movie reached out to me. He was like, "How the hell did you do that? Because that looks exactly like what I did for the movie, and you're not supposed to see it."
Also, another question: what did you think of the color change of Tiamat from Godzilla Dominion or from your design to the new Empire? The color change. Did you like that?
Oh, I thought she was beautiful in pink like that. Yeah, it never occurred to me to do it that way. I gave them multiple colorways, and a lot of it was like greens and purples. So to see what they did, actually you really can't see what she looks like under the water. She's in darkness, but everything is illuminated with the pink.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of liked it. I didn't give it to them that way, but I liked it. That's what they ended up with, and it made sense for the movie, like what was going to happen with.
I really liked that.
Yeah, but that actually wasn't my call.
That looks like a
Yeah, this is an interesting picture. They got in trouble for this one. They're not allowed to use this one. But I didn't design it. And yeah, this is I did this based on some early concept art. Ammonite shell. It doesn't look like it in the movie, but that's the one I did. Just for, fun.
what was your design
I kind of like this one. That one's a nice one, though. I like when he was red like that. It was pretty cool. Oh, yeah. So this piece I did just for fun, and it got into a magazine that just showcases really good digital art. So I was proud of that piece, and it was cool that somebody else thought it was cool. And I just sold a 3D printer this downstairs right before I came here. I know you had your eye on it.
I had my eye on
I
it.
sold it.
I'm safe. I spent too much already. But I might be talking to you later
Well,
on.
Jim told me to bring you the Gomez.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, this is.
Sorry.
Oh, that's the color 3D one that you went to.
Oh, sorry.
So it's like this big. This is Nemesis 3D printed in color, and it like glows from the inside. They put light system in it. This is the Mimaki color 3D printer. It's like $300,000 machine. And they asked me if if they could use the file and just go on tour with it. Then after the tour, they said you could keep it. So that sounds awesome, sure. So this went on like tour across the country, and I do have it in my house. It's tremendous. And it's just, it looks great though because it's printed in one piece in color and stuff. So that's like the day they printed it. Oh, Monster X. I had that 3D print with me. I saw that too. Yeah, there he goes. So yeah, this is just me having fun with legendary monsters.
Angry Birds.
I can't get enough of these things. Yeah, this was like a commission that I did for someone who wanted like a very strange blend of Shin Godzilla with Godzilla 2000. And he wanted the skin molten off. And this is what I came up with, and he was very happy. This is very strange stuff. But I like stuff like that. I think that's from the Godzilla animated series.
Oh yeah.
The Nightmare stuff.
That is so bad.
Yeah. Before, this was like one segment of it where he's actually having a nightmare, but the thing actually looks more like a Scorpion. It's a Sego.
Yeah. My friend is the one that
He commissioned me for
it was Andrew Stewart. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
Have you already shown your Tiamat concept?
I think I have one in here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
It'll come up. I put a lot of images. So.
Sorry, I just really love Tiamat.
There's
Mm.
Godzilla.
He's wrapped around.
Oh no, yeah, he's like on top of the Empire State Building. It's a ridiculous image because I don't think that's even possible. But it's like a play on the advertisement, the cartoon. There's a famous illustration of Godzilla standing on the Empire State Building like that. It makes me laugh. Oh, this guy. I sold that for you. This is something that's not quite kaiju, but it's kind of like that. But that's Bosk from Star Wars. I do humanoid stuff. I'll do superheroes if I can get the opportunity to do it. So, but I don't have that much. But this was turned into like a kit. This is somebody's original character. I think he wanted to turn it into an action figure or something, but then he found out how much those things cost, and he was like, I can't do it. Like, yeah, they're thousands of dollars. Oh, that was a polystyrene that I did. That's actually the sculpt I did for Mondo, but then I just distorted it for renders. But that was the sculpt that they turned into the figure at the end. It's the Wampa from Star Wars. That was also it. They made a kit out of like this thing. Tremendous. And I never got it. That was Godzilla Ultima.
Did you make any other versions of Ultima? Like the Form 1 and Form 2?
No, not yet. But those are cool. I'll probably do that one of these days.
Question at the back.
So what was like the biggest model you ever made? What's the biggest model you ever made?
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
What's the biggest model you made?
Well, because it's digital sculpture, you can print them out or you can produce them as big or small as you want. So there's no sense of size when I'm sculpting. But I do put enough detail in it. If they want it as big as a house, there'll be detail there. And if they want it really small, they can deal with it. But the biggest thing I've seen made out of something of mine, it might be that the Mezco Godzilla that came out. It's like this big. It's pretty damn big. It's like 18 inches high with the tail sticking out. It's pretty big. But I think that Wampa was also made quite large as well. This is like the first sculpt of a Muto that I did. And then this is actually a 3D printer painted by Carla Paints. I don't know if really good at creating kaiju. She pays for like Spiral Studios.
Whoa.
Like my version of the Cloverfield monster.
Where's his ears?
They're like GM'd in there somewhere. I'm not gonna say I know what I was doing. There's Titanicus again, the full body. That's what happened. That's what it looked like before they chopped it up and made a figure out of it.
Oh, Barry.
The happiest place. This T-Bass.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was the definitive piece that they were like, yeah, we have T-Bass. That was a good feeling.
That's amazing. So.
And then it's more it's funny because I first gave him one. I gave him one that looked like a giant eel and less like a dragon. And then I gave him a dragon. And then I gave him one that wasn't even a serpent. It was like it almost looked like a triceratops, but that stood up on two legs with like big arms. I was just trying to give them different archetypes, all like something that to draw their creativity and make them, because they didn't know what they wanted. They just wanted to see something interesting in it. So I gave them a little of everything. But the reason why I went with the serpent was because it was like when I was researching it in the Bible, they described it as a sea serpent. And, that's the one I went with, and that's the one they liked the most. Well, there's ultimate.
Did you make any of the other shots in the kaiju?
Not yet. I like a lot of Rudolphs. I'll probably do some at some point. I like Jet Jaguar. Was that?
And then the show section.
Gilala, he's just having fun with that. I 3D printed that one out. So, I love this stupid thing. I love it. It's just so silly. But that was a good shot of showing like my process. Like, I just started out, everything looks terrible when you work, the first hour or so. You're just throwing clay around and mushing it around. Little by little, it pulls together.
Last dinosaur.
Yeah, the last dinosaur.
It's
Actually,
awesome.
this is becoming a vital toy from Seismic Toys right now, but it's just a silly Tyrannosaurus movie came out in the 70s that was on TV, and now they're making toys for it. Because that's what we do in the toys.
Because there are people out there like me who are obsessed with that character and must own that toy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're all
Thank
compatible.
God for you people. It keeps me busy. I'm everybody's favorite flying turtle.
Gamma.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of 3D. I don't have to think about like drawing everything from every other angle. I love that once it's done, I could render it out from any angle. When I used to be an illustrator before I was a sculptor, and I had no interest in sculpting. So I would draw, but as I was drawing, I would never finish what I was drawing. I would always immediately start drawing it from another angle, and then get bored of that and immediately start. I would never finish anything. I'd always have all these scribbles of something from different angles. And then when I discovered sculpting, that made sense to me. I was like, oh, no wonder why I never wanted to finish. Because I'm not an illustrator, I'm a sculptor. I'm a sculpt. And you get to swing this thing around. When you get bored on this side, you swing it around this way, and you sculpt on this side. I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And then when it's all there, everything looks good from every angle, then you just render out any way you want and make it look good. And that's what I really appreciate about 3D digital sculpture. I never really used clay either. I never messed with clay. So I'm one of those people that just dove right into digital and never touched clay. But a lot of people start with clay and they don't even want to touch digital until they have to. But I didn't do it that way. And you guys just going through the camera stuff. Another thing that's great about 3D is just dropping materials on stuff and watching things change. It's so mesmerizing to me. Like, you can't do that while you're drawing. You can't just suddenly change what this thing looks like completely, but you can in 3D. It blows my mind. Every single time. I'll just sit there and drop materials on for like an hour. Just stuff like this. This would take me hours to try to figure out how to like do that with paints. And then it just takes me minutes in sculpture. So I do it. It just really changed the way I think about creating and the way I sit down to approach a project. I feel more at home with sculpture than I ever did with illustration. But when I'm sculpting, I feel like I'm drawing. To be honest, I don't feel like a sculptor, even though I just said I am a sculptor. I feel like I'm drawing, but then I get to turn in space, which you can't do on paper. Oh, this is the Gorgo figure I did for Titanic Creations. We just start out like this and render it out. King Caesar. Just having fun. I sold that one. Yeah.
I wish I got out to the table before they were all gone, but.
Does anybody know who this is?
No.
This is from the Godzilla Marvel Comics series. He fights, it's a mega monster. You can tell it's so ridiculous looking. Godzilla fights this thing. And that's another one of the mega monsters. They don't look like Toho monsters. They look like Marvel Comics ridiculous things from the 70s.
Did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say I know the names.
Oh, okay. I was saying, if anybody knows that they're gonna be in this building, that's for sure. And there was 3 mega monsters, and this is the third one. I did my version of it. I tried to make it look sort of realistic. In the comic, it's just strange looking geometric shapes. There's another Groman design based on all of his line art. It's like a crazy dragon with all stitched together with different body parts. It's also got turned into like a really big dragon toy. And I was thrilled to work on it. This is probably the second job with him. So I was like, oh, I guess the first one did okay because I'm getting called back. You know, it's a wonderful feeling. I actually did that for YMSF, but then I rendered it out, like to try to do it as realistic as I could, like change the color. Just having a good time. Yeah, that was turned into a line toy. Space change. That's also a toy. That's YMSF.
Oh, okay.
I think they had it last year. So, and this is just doing some She-Hulk stuff. Because these movies come out, these monsters, I fall in love with them, and I immediately just start sculpting them. And then I have a body work and 3D prints I can make. But my impulse when I see them and discover them is to just sit down and create them. And while I do that, I fall in love with the forms, and it makes me appreciate monster design with every sculpt that I do. So it's just something you have to do. 64 Ghidorah. That was also turned into a toy. And that's the seismic Gomez. Oh,
That's one.
That's the one you like. That's my first official Subaraya vinyl toy. So I'm proud of that. Pacific Rim, which I love dearly. That's a huge inspiration for me when that movie came out. Just going to town.
Question back there?
Which model is your favorite, the one you made so far?
Which model did I what?
Which model is your favorite you made so far?
Oh man, that's really hard. It's like asking me my favorite kaiju, basically. I can never answer. I love them all. This is one of my most recent sculpts, and I was very proud of it. So I'll go with this one right now, but it's gonna change in about 45 minutes. Yeah, I like when I can capture the essence of the old school suits. And that makes me happy when I do it. Sometimes I can't do it, so then I just change it completely. But it's hard. Like, that's what I love about X Plus, and anybody who's doing super screen accurate stuff. That's really hard to do. You have no idea. and it's like, you can try to do it, but there's gonna be areas where you fail, and you have to kind of maybe either play it like you meant to do it that way, or you're bad at sculpting. And I hate that, like, sometimes I can't do it, because I'm just not good enough to do it. Yes?
Have you ever made a Pacific Rim maker?
No, I'm not very good with robots, so those intimidate me. I would like to learn how, though, and that would be something I should strive to get better at for sure.
The center is very well made. It's my favorite type of Pacific Rim.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't design it, but I sculpted it in the same way.
Yeah, that sculpt.
Yeah.
I know, it's really cool.
That was another one that I did very recently. I was proud of it.
I'm sure it varies widely, but how many hours do you generally see yourself putting into these models? And to go along with that, how many do you put out in, say, a month, for example?
Oh, okay. Well, over the years, it took me a lot longer in the beginning than it does now. I think in Megalon it would take like 4 days, but back in the day, that would have taken me like a month. Yeah, I also don't. I'm not working 12-hour shifts. I'm doing like 4 hours here, another 2 hours here. So it's hard for me to gauge exactly. But yeah, I can do a full body with a lot of detail pretty quickly. And then after that, it's just a matter of finessing it and making it perfect. But if I have to do something for, like when I was working for Legendary, they wanted stuff fast. They wanted a lot, and I was approaching burnout. Like I didn't know if I was even capable of doing what they were asking. So I remember I put on a season of Game of Thrones a day. 10 hours a day I was working. I would watch the Game of Thrones would be playing on in the background. I'd be sculpting. And I'd be sculpting before it went on and sculpting after it was over. That was at least 16 hours a day I was sculpting for like 3 straight weeks. And I was like, I'm done, I can't do anymore. And then they would send it all in, and then they would come back with notes and do it again for another 3 straight weeks. So it gets rough. But it was in doing that I got really fast, and I learned shortcuts, and I learned how to work under pressure, and I think that made me better how to deal with people's notes and stuff like that. So now, yeah, I can do something pretty quick. But if I'm doing it for fun, I'll take my time.
So, are you gonna be working on it? Are you gonna be modeling for the new Godzilla X Kong Supernova movie?
Here's what I'll say about that. No. But I sculpted a lot of stuff for them that they can use anywhere, and I can't tell you yes or no about whether a monster I made will appear. So I'll find out when you find out.
Johnny Sacco.
Yeah, the Johnny Sacco Dracula. I like this sculpture. I'm proud of this one. This is pretty new. It's one of my favorite ridiculous kaiju from when I was a child. And I don't know what, maybe I just felt like sculpted it the other day. And I did it. I probably did it one day. I did it and then rendered it out. And then I was like, you know what? I'll 3D print it. And then when I got the 3D print, it looked really good. So I painted it, and I sold 2 of them at 2 different shows, and people seem to like it. So I'm feeling that. I redesigned Giron to make him look like whatever that is. I wanted to 3D print it for the show, but I ran out of time. So maybe next time. There's like a silly redesign of Ninja. I would try to 3D print that, but it might be a nightmare. I don't know why this thing makes me laugh. It's just so happy.
Question.
So this
Who's that kaiju from?
the one with the frill, yeah, it's Giras. It's like Godzilla with his neck frill from Ultraman.
Yeah,
It basically is Godzilla. Yeah. That's another way to sell more Godzilla toys without saying it's Godzilla. This was a commission for somebody. They had an original character, like a Velociraptor with wings. They actually sculpted it for them. That's what it came up with. I mean, it's based on their design, so it looks exactly like that. It's just sitting around with like textures and whatnot. But I love getting stuff like that to work on. That's another view of the Godzilla. This was a kit. This was sold as a kit. Weighed like 24 inches high. It was huge. But yeah, they sold out. We don't make them anymore. This is one of my favorite kaiju, Lemko. We made a toy out of this. It's something I thank you. This is a brand new Godzilla. The old school Swiss
I think that's it.
That's it. That's all my images. I
That's all
have
the
thousands more, but I didn't bring. Any questions? I'm not sure. I just rambled, so I don't know if I. Something. Yes.
Didn't you collab with like too many
Every now and then I'm on Goji Center and Goji Guide.
Yeah,
And stuff
because I
like
saw
that.
one of his thumbnails that you
Yeah, well, a lot of people just use my art for thumbnails without asking. I'm fine with that. But those two in particular, I tell them Dangerville is another one. I tell them that they can use my art when they want to, because they're like buddies of mine at this point. So anybody that cares about this kind of thing, we're all gonna learn who we are, and we're all gonna help each other out in ways. So I'm happy to help them with stuff, and they help me with stuff. And we're all here for each other.
Okay, go ahead.
I say, I know like you did like a model for like Goji Center. Like for like their kaiju thing. Do you like doing the model for that?
Yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff. I did that really fast too, like because I didn't know what I was gonna work on, because he had like a bunch of, and then he made them fight, and they got narrowed down to the like 2 that were gonna win, and then once they announced the winner, I had like a day to get it done. So I got it done like overnight. And I told them I'm fine with that. I was like, I had to get it done right before I was leaving for Chief Fest, and then it helps me like introduce me and my artwork to new kaiju fans. Because without him, he's got 1 million followers and I don't. So, now I have a bunch of new followers because they saw me do that. A couple of people came to my table and was like, I saw you on Goji Center's video. That's amazing. That's why you do that.
Any other questions?
You guys?
Have you ever played around with rigging and animation at all?
No, animation has never been something I wanted to do as much as I love it and respect it, but at the same time I feel like I should, because it seems like it's so accessible now, and maybe I'll be good at it. So I'm thinking a lot about it these days, especially now that it's easy to do. It seems you can what used to take a month to do, you can do now in a couple of hours. It seems like, and it's available.
I was going to say, do you don't rig your guys in the computer to rig ourselves too?
No rigs.
Really, do you just do
I just
the straight out capacity?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the long way.
Yeah, it's just that I just save out multiple poses and whatnot. Yeah, I never bothered with the rig because it seemed to me it was just more trouble than it was worth. So, but maybe not. Like if it works for you, that's the way you should do it.
Was another question back there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I actually missed the first about 15 minutes of this. I'd like to know more about your tools of the trade, like what kind of, you use like a drop pad or?
Oh yeah, I didn't even discuss that at all. But yeah, I'm using a Wacom tablet. I've got 2 monitors, one with the sculpture and one has just like reference on it. So now I'm just like this, you know. I used to have like books and stuff open, but now if I just need images, I'll scan them so that I can have them on the screen. Sometimes you gotta like overlay them with what you're working on, and you can't do that with a book. So that's basically my display. I don't use those drawing tablets that have the screen, like you're drawing on the screen you're working on, because I feel like my hand is in my own way. So now I'm like this when I draw, and other people are like this when they draw. And it's just a preference that I had. I used to be a photo retoucher for like a decade, and we never worked with that. So now that I'm just baked into those rules, but there's no right or wrong way to do it. Like whatever works for you.
So it's almost kind of like a touchpad with a stylus, right?
Yeah. It's a Wacom drawing tablet, but they have really cool ones now that like they look so much more advanced than it not for me. It's not for me. I'm a dinosaur. I like my old ways, and until they force me to change, I won't change.
Another question, Matt?
So have you ever had like a funny moment while modeling? Like,
That's a great question. Funny how?
like say like it's like like the way you model it, it looks kind of ridiculous. Like something that didn't go right and just looks funny.
All the time, man. All the time. Sometimes it's less funny and just sad or infuriating. But yeah, there's times where like I'll slip and drag the move tool and just distort everything I worked on. Thank God for the undo button is all I can say. But it will make me laugh. And sometimes it's so good that I'll just save a copy of it and post it. But it's actually really fun to sculpt digitally because you can just go nuts with that stuff. So I like that question a lot because you just make yourself laugh. Do you sculpt at all?
Yeah, I just started sculpting on my tablet.
And do you having a lot of funny moments?
Not yet.
You will. Give yourself some time. You will. That's cool that you're doing that. Anybody doing that is really cool. And you can always reach out to me online if you have questions. I'm happy to answer anything.
Any other questions?
You guys want me to shut up now?
I just want to thank you. This has been great.
Yeah, my
Really,
pleasure.
really appreciate it.
I'm thrilled that if anybody cares. Yes, please.
I want to know what would you say is your average face count for a model?
Oh, really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing like 100 million polys. I probably have more than you need.
What's your setup like then?
Oh, I'm using a Mac Studio with like as much stuff as it could possibly be. It's got the most RAM that I was able to get in there, and I only had it a few years. But when I used to have like 64 gigs of RAM, and now I have like over 200. So I noticed the jump now. Now I can have one subtool will be like 40 million polys by itself, and then I'll have 30 of those. I wouldn't suggest that, but I'm saying when I did that as just a test out to see if it would be able to handle it, and it handled it. So I was thrilled with that. But yeah, because I'm doing 3D modeling, 3D printing, most of my finished assets are tremendous. Because I don't need to make any low poly stuff. I'm not doing animations. I'm not doing anything of the sort. My stuff needs to be high poly. But I do. You can't send a 14 gig file to get 3D printed. So I do have to decimate it and all, but it's a whole different approach than if you were animating. Yeah. But I have been animating. I have been turning my assets into stuff that needs to be animated. So lately we're doing commercials for these products that we're working on, and they are using the models that I made the toy with. It's the same thing. We just low polyed it, skinned it, and now it's an animated asset, and it looks amazing. So now I'm at that point where I'm like, to make people's lives easier in this business, I should learn that workflow and be able to do like a lot more than I'm currently doing. Which would be good for me because I'll have control of what these things look like in the commercial. And it's just to see them animated and to see them like almost cinematic, moving around, interacting with other elements on screen, it's making me want to animate more and more. The more I see it, the more I want to do it. I just know how painstaking it is. So I just never got into it fully. But yeah, I guess that's like the future of it. That's where I'm gonna head at some point.
Thank you. Okay. James Furman is going to be up next.
Awesome.
He even got there, so he'll be up in a minute.
Great.
Cool. I'm just going to briefly explain the awards. There's going to be the lifetime. I'm going to start that. There's the Lifetime Achievement Award to be given. There's the coveted Mansfield Skyscraper Award, and there are 3 awards that acknowledge fans who have given much time and love to G-Fest, and or fandom in general, kaiju fandom in general. So without waiting too long here, I'm going to ask that we do the first fan award.
So our first G-Fan Award of the evening goes to Joyce Boss. Joyce, if you come on. So many of you probably know Joyce. Many of you probably know Joyce from seeing her give panels on topics as varied as Japanese yokai and other cultural touchstones in fandom. She has long been presenting at panels, bringing together the geek topics that we really enjoy, but infusing those with kind of cultural context and significance. She's been participating in podcasts like the Gamera episode of Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and has contributed information for various Blu-ray sets such as Arrow Video's Daimajin Blu-ray set. When she's not at G-Fest, she teaches at Wartburg College, where she actually uses films from ranging from the original Godzilla to G-1 and the yokai films in courses such as the Japanese Supernatural and Japanese popular media and culture. And the connection that she has with the films that we love so much kind of goes in both directions. So in addition to presenting information to us as fans, when she went on the very first G tour years ago, that became the inspiration for her to do a travel course to Japan through her college, which she's now done 7 times. And while there in Japan, she always points out the kaiju-related relevance of places like Ginza's Seifu Clock and Kyoto Station. In fact, on G Tour 2, we all took a walk around Lake Biwa while singing Furusato, as seen in War of the Gargantuas, and that became the focus of a conference presentation she gave on how popular culture-related tours are akin to a pilgrimage experience. And right now she's writing up a paper that will be published next spring in the academic journal Teaching About Asia on using yokai media such as films, series, and anime as ways to teach students about Japan in ways that are fun and engaging. And just to close off, she told me a little story that one of her favorite teaching moments was recently showing Godzilla -1 in the classroom in a Japanese popular media class, and the scene where the flotilla of tugboats arrives to save the day and rescue the plan had her entire back row of students cheering and doing fist pumps. And as she said it, as she put it, achievement unlocked for teaching Godzilla studies. So without further ado, I just wanted to congratulate you on this award, Joyce.
Thank you all so much. This is a highlight every year to come to G-Fest. I started joking, but in a serious way a while ago, that I schedule my entire year around G-Fest. So nothing else happens during this week. So thank you very much. This means so much to me. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Elena Gavins is going to present next. Oh, here, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dan. Just as a quick hello, my name is Elena, and I'm the cosplay director at G-Fest. I promise this is relevant. I would not get to do what I do today if not for the next recipient of the G-Fest Hall of Fame Award, Don McKechnie.
Yeah!
Most of us know this convention is a sort of family reunion. And she is one of the very first memories I have of G-Fest. I remember being up with her and my father, and we were painting Godzilla scales at 2 o'clock in the morning in the Kitty Hawk room at the Crown Plaza. G-Fest very much is a family reunion, and she was a part of the original crew that started the G-Fest as we know it. Don was a formative force in developing the atmosphere and personality of G-Fest as we know it, insisting that it should be a convention of fans for the fans, in lieu of conventions by large businesses who are not in tune with the people like you and I. What she's most commonly known for is cosplay. In a dedication to her craft, she has pioneered carved foam techniques before it was commonplace, and she is widely known for running cosplay contests across Canada and the US, such as Anime North, Fan Expo, Otakuthon, and many, many more, including starting our own cosplay masquerade here at G-Fest that has evolved into the cosplay contest parade that you're all about to see this evening. She's also been a mentor to myself and many other cosplay directors who are up and coming, as well as a prolific cosplay judge. But accolades aside, she's one of the sweetest human beings. And of course, anyone whose favorite kaiju is Baragon, you know they're one of the good ones. Dawn with the G-Fest Hall of Fame Award for her contribution to the convention and for helping shape what the Godzilla fandom and G-Fest look like today. Everyone give it up for Dawn McKechnie.
Hi, thank you everyone. It's been a while since I've been back, but it's great to see everybody. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have to say I'm very overwhelmed. Thank you for this, but also with how much the G-Fest costuming has grown and how many people of all ages are participating now. So if you're supporting the costumers, you're loving the costumers, or you are a costumer, thank you for coming out.
Yeah!
Next, I'd like to ask Aileen to come up.
Yay!
Last but not least, I have known Mark and Sue Manson for several years. Matt has reminded me of a story that I'm going to share. The first time, yes, can Matt and Sue Mansky please come to the stage? As probably all of you know, these two individuals, I call them super volunteers. But it all started when they came to their first G-Fest with their son. We were over at the Crown, and his son was coming up to me, and I was running the Divas room at the time, and his son's eyes were as big as silver dollars, and saying, "Oh," and I introduced myself. I says, "I'm Dave Nunes, and I'm the gentleman who runs the vendors room," and he was just so overwhelmed. And then I looked at his parents, and his parents had smile ear to ear. And I wanted to ask the following question. I asked him, well, all of us have, how did we get here? Why are we interested in this incredible thing? So Mark shares this story with me, and with your permission. He says Mark started his interest with Godzilla when his dad took him to see Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
And then he got to see Godzilla on Monster Island on television, or rather known as Godzilla vs. Gigan, in Detroit in 1977. Now, like the rest of us in that time frame, we started watching these movies on cable TV, and he was able to increase his interest in the genre through the 70s and 80s, with those famous Godzilla weeks. And then Marvel came out with their comic book series. Yes, I have all of them too. And then the Crestwood books. And then when they finally started released on videotape, he watched all of them on Sci-Fi just like the rest of us. And then he stepped up to the plate. Actually, his wife Sue started. And at the time, we needed some help in a place called Minya's Room. Minya's Room is an incredible love fest of joy for children who share the genre. And I cannot think of two individuals who do so much. And on that, I am proud to give you the third G-Fest Hall of Fame Award.
Yeah! Oh.
Now you have to say a few words.
Well, thanks. First of all, Dave was the first G-Fest staffer that we met in person, as he shared, and it was the perfect introduction to this convention for us. We were talking on the way here, this is our 14th G-Fest, and it's become a fixed point for us. We've been coming to G-Fest longer than we've lived at any one address as a family. So I guess that says it all. I was the kid who drew Godzilla pictures when he should have been doing his homework.
Yeah!
So to have a hand in that here means the world. And on a more serious note, the Master of Special Effects, A.G. Stubaraya, had a very good idea of wanting to encourage children to imagine and to create and to think about their heroes and encouraging a thoughtful response to monsters and to think that Minya's Place is a very small extension of that here at G-Fest is extremely meaningful to us. So thank you to everybody who comes down year after year, all the kids that make stuff down there, the creativity's off the charts. So thank you for this. Thank you to the convention committee. This means the world to us. Sue, did you want to say anything? I didn't think she did. So again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for this.
Yeah!
Coming to the greatest kaiju convention in the universe.
Yeah!
This Lifetime Achievement Award has been given twice before in 2017 to Shinji Higuchi for his work in the Gamera Heisei series and also his big hit Shin Godzilla. And then in 2019 to Mr. Akira Takarada, not only for his body of work, but for also for the way he adopted this convention and became our godfather, essentially. So it's only been twice before, and so this is the third time for a Lifetime Achievement Award. This year's award goes to Mr. Koichi Kawakita, who has also been a super friend to G-fans and also an integral part of the Godzilla series for a very long time. I've got a list here because I wouldn't be able to remember it, but I just wanted to point out a few of the highlights of his career. He began it with Gorath as an assistant optical technician, but he knew he wanted to do more than that. He was a very ambitious guy, and on King Kong versus Godzilla, he served as an assistant cameraman. And how come my video isn't rolling? That's okay. And he then went to did some television work, The Return of Ultraman as assistant director of special effects, as he also did on Godzilla vs. Hedorah. He was a director of special effects on the TV series Zone Fighter. He did assistant director of special effects on Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. He worked on a lot of TV as a director on Ultraman Leo and Megaloman and others. For Toho, he was appointed the Director of Special Effects with Bye Bye Jupiter, or Sayonara Jupiter, in 1984. He did Gunhead in 89, and finally, and also in 1989, he became the Director of Special Effects for Godzilla vs. Biollante, and he carried that title through the entire Heisei series, plus the first two Mothra installments, at which time he reached the age in Japan where one lets go of that sort of thing. But that did not stop him in any means. He went on to form his own company called Dream Planet Japan, and he produced TV series, Grand Caesar, Just Risers, and others. He also continued to work with Godzilla. He produced a series of videos for the pachinko games that they have in Japan, and he also did television commercials. He staged exhibitions of Godzilla all over Japan. And not only that, though, he was a member of the board of Toho, and as in that position, although I don't know this directly, I am convinced that he ran a lot of interference for us and for what we were doing. He was always a good friend to G-Fans, G-Fest, and to me. Every time we met through the years, he welcomed me very warmly, and he always saw that materials on what he was doing were made available to G-Fans so that I could disseminate them to the West. He took a great interest in what we were doing, and he came to G-Fest 3 times. The last time he came, he wanted to talk about his early work, and we interviewed him, and a lot of work on his war movies and so forth. And I noticed something when he was making arrangements to come to that event in 2014. He said he only wanted to sign autographs for 2 hours, and he didn't want to attend the awards ceremony, and I knew something was different about it. And when he came, I saw that he looked a little bit older, as we all did, but I realized that he was feeling that he was not physically up to it anymore. And at that convention, though, however, a wonderful thing happened. He changed his mind. He did all his sessions. He went, he signed autographs, he was with the fans all the way through it, and I think he felt that he was energized by us. And he told me that he wanted to come back in 2015 and cover his Godzilla work. And unfortunately, he did not, because he passed away in December of 2014. So this award is a posthumous one, the first one we've done. And to accept it is Mr. Kawakita's daughter, Mineko. And please come up. Mineko-san has carried on her father's legacy. She has continued his company of Dream Planet Japan. It's not only a production company, but it's involved with the production of Godzilla items, keeping Godzilla in the forefront, making sure that the image of Godzilla is what we think it should be. I know that Mr. Kawakita was a true G-fan. I know he loved Godzilla like we do. He wasn't just somebody who worked on these things. He was a G-fan. And he helped us. He made a huge contribution to Godzilla fandom. And I think that the lasting legacy that he will receive is that the world's idea of Godzilla is the Kawakita Godzilla, the one that he developed through the Heisei series and put forward. So, Mineko-san, thank you for carrying on his work, and thank you for your dad and all he did for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for giving this great honor to my father. He always looked forward to coming to G-Fest and meeting all the fans. It made him very happy to see how much people loved his work. I hope you will continue to enjoy and remember the things he created. Thank you. That would mean a lot to him and to our family. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.